a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about the immigration. Like,
okay, because this fam, we're gonna talk about this right now, and I don't know how you feel. We're gonna go to 12:09 on this thing, but to me, this is why I wore the Tulsi shirt today, fam. See, this is why I wore it. I'm telling you now because this to me was Bernie's worst answer of the night, and you know, I wish Bernie would do a Convo Couch town hall. Because there's about 3 questions I'd like to ask him. Now, just roll this here because a lot of people will say, okay, his answer on immigration was good, whatnot. I think it was a missed opportunity. It was horrible. And I'll tell you where Tulsi would have went with this interview if she gets a town hall on Fox. Go ahead.
We want to get to some questions about.
Sorry, Martha,
okay. We want to get to some questions about immigration.
Oh, sorry, immigration.
Yeah. And let's talk a little bit about the border. The president, as you know, has said that the capacity for the asylum seekers that were full at the border in terms of housing and it's overflowing.
Yes.
It's a bad, untenable situation right now. He has suggested, and it's been very controversial over the past few days, sending some of those people to sanctuary cities, which have said in the past that they have open doors for immigrants, So where do the overflow that we have no capacity for, where do you think they should go?
Well, first thought, I mean, this president, well, let me get into this, right? Look, I talked enough about it. But we have a problem at the border, a serious problem. And what is the problem? The problem right now, and you correct me if you think I'm wrong, is that we are now seeing desperate people fleeing violence and misery in Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, with little children walking 1,000 miles. They're not trying to sneak in, correct me if I'm wrong, they're going up and they say, we want asylum, because I don't want my little girl to grow up, you know, to be treated horribly by gangs, okay? Now, you're right, there are a whole lot of people. So what do we need to do? We need sensible immigration reform, which includes, among other things, getting hundreds of new judges, because the system is now overflowing, who can deal with these issues. You're coming into the country, are you really fleeing violence, or is another reason?
Right.
Okay, so you need to have many, many more judges to expedite the process.
And new asylum laws?
Pardon me?
New asylum laws?
Let's look. But you know, historically, from an international and national perspective, and I speak as the son of an immigrant himself, not in this kind of position, but who came to this country at the age of 17 from Poland without a nickel in his pocket. Internationally, what the world has said is that if you are fleeing violence, if your life is in danger, that other countries should welcome you in. But we need real comprehensive immigration reform. We don't need, and let me say this very clearly, we don't need to demonize immigrants. That we don't need to do.
Stop it right there. Fam,
I don't think it's this horrible of an answer.
Can I explain to you why I think it's awful?
I know why, but yeah.
You know why. Okay, because he said, first off, we got to get judges, and then let it down the road to we got to get immigration reform. No. And you know Tulsi's answer would have been different because you know what Tulsi would have done. First thing we need to do is stop our intervention in these countries which are causing these mass migration problems. And this is a serious issue with Bernie Sanders, okay? Hands off Venezuela unequivocally, fam.
He has said that, though.
But he kind of danced around. He's manufactured consent. Well, we have to see how the elections are. And, you know, Maduro. No, he hasn't been solid. Put your foot down. And this is where a lot of Republican voters, people who watch Fox, need to be educated. Hey, you want a wall? You want to stop the flow of immigration? Well, stop fucking intervening. And he didn't hit that, fam. And that's why I was so pissed, because I know if it was Tulsi, or when it's Tulsi, she would have said right off the bat, you know, first things first, let's stop causing the problem.
Yeah, she would have.
Stop taking the knife and stabbing
Tulsi is, in my opinion, stronger when it comes to foreign policy, dealing with regime change wars, dealing with interventionism. In my opinion, she's the stronger candidate when it comes to foreign policy. Like, that's what she does. That's what she's been doing. I don't think, though, that Bernie has said Maduro isn't he isn't a dictator. He has said he has listened to people like say, oh, you know, he hasn't said hands off Venezuela, but he has said we need to stay away from engaging in regime change wars. Does he need to work on that? Absolutely. But I don't think it was a horrible answer. I do think we need to pay attention to those things, but I think Bernie is looking at it domestically. His answer was a domestic policy economic answer. It wasn't an international foreign policy answer. He didn't make the connection between immigration and war, which is something that you're right. We need to make that connection, because people in Honduras are fleeing violence that was caused by Hillary Clinton and Obama when they decided to intervene and cause a regime change, which led to this kind of violence and unstable nation, which that's where these people are coming from.
And you went down there, fam. I think it's important to point them out. You went down there several times and you talked to these people.
They know that. They know what happened. They know that they had a socialist, good economy. They had healthcare. They had they gave them jobs. Everybody was good. And then, of course, Hillary Clinton came in. The capitalists came in. They installed their own puppet, and look what happened. That's what we need to stop doing. And Bernie does need to be better on that. But which is why I think we need a Tulsi in the debate stage. And you're right. We need to have her in Fox, and we need to have her be if she's not president, a part of that cabinet, because she would be amazing. And honestly, one of the only people that I think has the qualifications to be a Secretary of State or a VP with a strong command, because usually VPs don't really have that much power. But as Secretary of State, I think if she led with a peace economy, with, stopping us from regime change wars, I think she'd be great at it.
Yeah, I once again, I think it was missed opportunity, fam. I really wish he gets there. And like we said, we hope down the road, if Tulsi does not doesn't get the nomination, and it's clear that Bernie gets the nomination, that he gives her a very strong position when it comes to foreign affairs and listens to her. Not just foreign policy, but foreign affairs, the relationships that are necessary to have. I don't understand how the people can smear her on one end and say it's not right for her to go to talk to Assad, but yet she stands alone out there. And let me tell you something, fam, the chat lit up on the MCNCS network.
Yep.
Okay, about Tulsi. They like him. There's a lot of Tulsi people out there, and that's why I wore the shirt today.
Tulsi.
And the fam even said, Pasta, you're one to talk. You want to be non-biased and stuff like that. I said, fam, it was important for me to wear it today because I think it's such an important issue, and Bernie is not making that correlation, and we need to continue to educate the people on the right, the conservatives who say they want a wall, who want to control immigration. Well, let's stop the problem in itself, fam.
And the majority of them don't want to engage in war. They'd rather just be at home and have, the government focus on our domestic issues. But we can't do that if we continue to try to invade Venezuela, sneakily try to sneak people in Syria. Continue today with what happened today, fam, which is where we're going to segue into in a minute.
Yeah,
right?
I just want to show one picture real quick, Johnny, that picture I have over there, because here again, and once again, with this great idea for Bernie going